Hello everyone, in our today's video, we will make our portfolio website responsive for all devices. As you all know, we created our website already in every single part. So now, whenever we are making it in a smaller screen, it's not working as it's supposed to be. So from this website, we're going to turning into this website, and all the functionality will work as fine as it's supposed to be. And for that one also, we're gonna use the Tailwind CSS. So if you come over in Tailwind CSS and just go to the responsive design, you can see here the breakpoint prefix, how the breakpoint works. You can find every single answers for your questions, how the breakpoint works and from where it starts and how it ends, so you can understand it better whenever you are following the documentation. Just stay with me, because whenever we are doing it, you will understand it perfectly. So first of all, to start with that, I'm gonna create my own breakpoints, and that is the breakpoints I prefer for myself, which will be like extra small screen from 320 pixel till, and from that 321 to 375 pixel will be smaller screen. Like that way, I keep the screen sizes over here, and I'm gonna use the response generator for it. So if we are using the response generator, you can see I'm getting the device width and height from here only. So if you just come over here, go to the responsegenerator.com, whenever you will come to that page, then you just run your project and then go, it will just work as fine. So now for that, let's begin with our first part, which will be of course the never, but I'm gonna start with the banner. Okay, so close that one. Let's go to our banner, and if you see the banner, it's like stuck all together. So what we're gonna do, I will just give it as a flex call, and whenever it will hit the LGL devices, like larger devices, it will be the flex row, like the normal we are using. Why I'm getting the LGL? The LGL start LGL devices is from 1024. That's the endpoint for the LGL devices. If you just may remember that one, here is the breakpoint. So if you have any confusion, you can kind of come over here and see what's going on. So if I hit the save, at the same time, let's go to our devices, and you see it's going in flex column, and that width portion we're gonna fix it. Let's go to left bar. Remember, we give a width of half. For right now, we give width full, and LGL devices, it will be half, and you see that's perfect. And also for the right part, we'll do the same. So the width will be full and LGL half. Now there is some padding going on, and I believe that padding we give it in app.js. We give a px of 16. Let's remove that one. And that is working fine, but if we go to our initial page, that's not look like that. So we need to fix that. So what I'm gonna do, instead of 2XL, let's make it XL, and you see that's perfect. And also, I think that top portion is almost fine. Now we need to fix that icon portion. If we go to the left banner again, the icon we give it here. For the temporarily, we'll give it as a flex call, and whenever it will hit the LGL devices, it will be flex row. Okay, and also we're gonna give a gap of 6. LGL gap will be 0. So that's working fine. And also we need to give a gapping over here, and that gapping will be from banner whenever we are making it in flex column. So we'll give a gap of 10, and whenever it will hit LGL, the gap should be 0. So now see, now the image is looks little bit bigger. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fix our image. For the image, I think it's in the right banner. So for that image, I'm gonna give some predefined class. because that width and height, because we need to declare some width and height, like initially it will be 300 pixel by 400 pixel. Whenever it will hit the LGL devices, that will be the normal width and height we give before. So that is working fine, but as you see, the card part, that's not working fine. Okay, so for that card part also, I will do the same. We will just modify that width and height, and after modification, that looks good. If we go through the older devices, you will see it looks as it's supposed to be, and also in the larger devices, it's good. I think that one we need to little bit modify. If we go to left banner, instead of making it in LGL, let's give it to the Excel devices. Okay, you see, that's cool. And also in the banner, we can keep that gap for, I think, an Excel. We will make the gap of 0. Now see, that's perfect. So if you go through all the devices, you can go and check out. I already checked, that's working perfectly and it's fine. So what I'm gonna do, every time I change the portion, I'm gonna come over here, I will just drag it and see if it's working or not. So that's fine. So after the banner, the portion we have is that what we do. Remember, I think we have that item in our features. So let's go back to features. And now here we use the grid pattern, right? We give a grid call of 3. So the 3 item is here. So what we're gonna do, first of all, we're gonna give a grid column of 1. Then whenever it will hit MD, it will be grid column of 2. And that grid column of 3 whenever it will hit the Excel. Okay, like the initial step, what we are declaring now. We save it. And if we go right there, you see, that is changed. Now that icon little bit is, I think it's working fine. Yeah, icon is good. Okay, it's working fine. And also that gap, it will be only whenever, put SL, whenever we will be in the Excel devices, and temporarily the gap will be 6 from the initial state. Okay, so now if you see, I think little bit gapping padding is having the problem. If we go to the card, I think we better modify our title. Remember that title, mobile development UX design. So initially we'll give a text of Excel, and whenever we will hit the MD screen, or yeah, MD is a little bit larger. So now see, now that is working fine. If we come to any of the MD devices, let's see if it's working or not. Wow. So let's go here and drag it. Now see, don't worry about that larger portion because it's not in the breakpoint. You can go to the responsiveness and fix the devices there. So here a little bit sketchy, it will not be a problem at all. Okay, so now that one is responsive, done. And after that, we're gonna also work with our projects. And for that, close the features. Let's go back to our projects. And also we use here the grid. Whenever we are using grid, it's very easy. Grid calls of 1 and MD, it will be the same. Grid calls of 2, and that will be effective whenever we will hit the Excel devices. Perfect. And also the gap, whatever we give before, it will be in Excel, and normally it will be 6. Now here is working fine, but remember that padding we give in the project card. I think we give a padding somewhere over here, and that PX, remember? So it will work that PX and PY, whatever we give, it will work from Excel devices. Normally the padding will be 4. And now see, that looks slick. So that will be working much better. If you, just to be sure, if we drag and drop, and okay, there is a space and it's working fine. So now what we're gonna do, now is the time for our resume. Let's go back to our resume, open the resume. Now here is the one thing, because education and professional skills are the different sector. Whenever we come in experience and achievements, it's the same as education. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make education and professional skills responsive. You can follow through the education and do that both by yourself. Okay, just if you have any question, you can just mention me in the comments below. So let's start. First of all, we need to make that column, that UL, the li we give, see, is squash all together. So what we're gonna do, initially you'll create calls of 1, and whenever it will hit MD, it will be get columns of 2. And Excel devices, I don't think so it will be in Excel. Let's see which devices is working perfectly, or just give in Excel. Yeah, let's save it, and you see that's slick. So even if we come over here, we will see it's working much fine. See, okay. So now after doing that, it's the time for making our education part. So I think that is not required. Let's go back to our education part. And now here, remember, we have two parts, 1 and 2. So if we can make a comment like part 1, and if we just copy that and paste, where is the part 2? So first of all, what we're gonna do, we will make it as flex column. Okay, flex call, and let's see which devices is working smoothly. If we go back down, and now here you can see in our LGL devices, that looks better, it's working fine. If we just go back to our professional skills, yeah, it looks okay. So till LGL devices, we need to make change. So now whenever it will hit in LGL devices, it will be flex row. So now that portion, you see, is down. That is that, forget about that cursor till now, because it's coming from the navbar. Okay, so that will not be an issue. So now you can see it's coming side by side. So now we need to fix that issue. So what we're gonna do, we will go to our resume card, and in the resume card, we will modify the title. First of all, we will give the title text of Excel, and whenever it will hit in MD, let it be a little bit bigger. And then we will modify this part, but this one, remember, we given width and height. We'll remove that width and height, because as you can see here, see, it's not matching actual width and height. It's not giving the full actual initial gap is different from others. So what we're gonna do, we'll give a padding from x-axis 4, and padding from y-axis will be 2. So whenever we do that, now see, it's the same padding and gap is working for everywhere. Now that one is working fine. What we're gonna do, that div that has the flex, so first of all, we will make it a flex call. Whenever it will hit LGL devices, it will be flex row, and let's see, yeah, it's working fine. And whenever it will hit LGL, it will be justify between, okay, or keep the justify between. Item center only will be whenever it will be in LGL devices. So now, okay. Also, this entire div, which is contains everything, before doing that, I think we are giving also a little bit gap somewhere. That's the PX. It will also be effective from LGL devices. Okay, now we are giving a padding of 4. Okay, now we see we have a little padding. We need to work with that. So let's go. First of all, there is a text of base. Whenever it will hit in a smaller screen, initially it will be text of small, and MD devices, the text will be base. So the text is small. Now there is the gap. I think that's not that gap. Yes, it's coming from here. In the LGL devices, that gap will be okay, but initially the gap will be 6. Okay, and also I think subtitle, and this one we need to give a gap of 2 or give a gap of 4. Okay, now it looks better. And okay, that will work fine, I think so. Now LGL gap will be 0. So now if we go any of the smaller little bit MD devices, you can see I think that will work fine for right now. 2, 3, 4, yeah. Okay, let's see here how it's coming. Yeah, I think that will be fine, just to see one by one, because those kind of devices will be pretty much the tab. So if we come in education, yeah, here is also looks better. So for right now, I think our that portion is okay. So now let's, and also this, see, there is a padding and margin going on. We can also fix that issue. What we'll do here, I think that is coming from, if we go back to education, remember, yeah, there is some class mistake is happening. We give an empty of 14. First, let's modify our title. Okay, normally it will be text of 3XL. Whenever it will hit an MD screen, it will be text of 4XL. And the same one we will initialize for our part 2 also. Okay, now it's okay. And now that empty we need to fix. Sorry. First, that empty will work for only for LGL devices. If we go back there, nothing changes. Why? If we make that padding Y from that LGL devices, we give a padding, remember, yeah, that will be fine. And also there is another, I think we give a padding also here. If we initialize that padding Y axis, yeah, so first of all what we'll do, we'll give a padding Y of 6. Whenever it will hit the LGL devices, it will be padding Y of 12. That is the padding, and that empty margin top, it will be affected from LGL devices. Initially it will be margin top of 6. Okay, that looks better. And the same procedure we're gonna follow it here. So this, okay, here, and normally it will be empty 6, LGL empty 14. Now if we come, I think that looks better. That gap you can fix it. I think we give a gap of 4 here, so that is not a big deal. This gap, remember, we give it 20. It will only be effective in LGL. Now see, there is no gap, but normally we will also give a gap of 10. So it will be a little bit, yeah. Now you see, it's work perfect. So now it's time for our professional skills. So for that way, let's go to our professional skills, our skills here. We will do the same thing. Flex call in LGL, we will make flex row. And see, that's fine. Now we need to remember we have also, I think, 2 part. So first of all, it will be with full, LGL will be with half, and again, now see, it's taking the full weight. Now that margin, that gapping, what we give, it will be effective from LGL devices. Normally the gap will be 10. If we save, okay, the gap is working. We will modify the title as usual. So first of all, it will be text 3XL, and LGL device or MD devices, it will be text 4XL. Okay, the same pattern we will just follow through for our Where is our title? I think we are in a wrong place. Yeah, it will be here. Okay, close it. And now that is our second title. If we come over here, you see, that's working fine. So now that padding, gapping, you can go through with any way you want. You know, sometimes you want some more styling for your portfolio, your own design. You choose the way you want and you can make it. I'm just showing you the way how you can do it. Now you can go and modify as the way you want, so you can follow through and make experience and achievements responsive as the way you want. So now here is another part is our testimonial. Remember, we keep testimonial as an slider, right? And now what you're gonna do, there is 3 slider images. So 1, 2 or 3 you can do it by yourself, or just we're gonna follow through. So first of all, let's start with the first one. And here I think okay, settings, and first of all we will make it as that height we will remove. Okay, initial height, it will be auto, because I think we already put the properties, so the height will not be a problem. See, it's working fine even we remove the height. So now after removing the height, what we're gonna do, in each component, first of all, let's see in which part is working perfectly. I think in LGL devices it will be fine. Yeah, it's fine. So now we're gonna work on our smaller devices. So normally it will be flex call. In LGL it will be flex row. So it's taking this space, and now that width will be full in LGL devices 35%, and remember we have another 60%. Then width will be full LGL, the width will be 60%. So now see, it's slick. And remember that that one also we keep as an image, and we give a width of 20%. What we will do, we'll just keep width of 32, so it will be normal. You can see that. So first of all, we can do one thing. We can give width of 20 only in LGL devices, the width of 32. See, small is, it's okay, it looks good. So now let's go back to that image. If you see, if we come little bit bigger screen, it's not looks good, means it empty. So what we gonna do, initially it will be 72. Okay, whenever it will hit an MD, the width will be 32 and LGL width will be 72. So if we save, see, that's working fine. I think not the width, it will be the height. That's why it's freak out. It will be the height in both sides. And why is not capturing? Because remember that one, that overall div is I think is a flex div. So first of all, that flex call, first it will be flex call. In MD it will be flex row, then LGL it will be again flex call. Now see, that's working fine. And I think it's justify center. It will work for normal devices, smaller devices. Whenever it will hit MP devices, it will be justify start. LGL devices justify, again it will be center. If we hit save, now see, there is a gapping padding working. I think, where is our stars? Yeah, you see. Oh, no, sorry, the stars will be down. Okay, that's fine. I was just looking at here. So now that is working fine. If you see, for smaller devices, okay. Now little bit medium devices, I want that. Now if you follow through our previous build, like if we go over here in the section of testimonial, now see, that is little bit downwards, right? So what we need to do, we need to keep that in down. So first of all, let's make it justify end. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so let's go here. That is the portion we need to keep. So let's give a class name with a full bg red. Let's see if we can catch that portion. Yeah, that is the portion. So what we're gonna do, we'll give a flex, it will become side by side. Yeah, and flex column. If we save, it's coming in the column, and justify, it will be end. Now see, that's working fine. And that one is you can just work through a little bit. I think that top portion we need to work on it. Now here, what we need to do, that is the text over here. So first of all, that is text and that is the title. Let's give it flex column. Let's see in every devices. Okay, from all the devices it will work. Flex column, and justify between only will work from, let's see in MB devices it is working not. Okay, it will only work from LGL devices. No, not that one. Item center, yeah, we want in the left side, it will start only in LGL devices. Now you see that looks little slick. And also that title, initially it will be text Excel, and LGL devices, the text will be to Excel, so it will come in the line. And also in here there should be, we should give a gap. Now padding is okay. If we start it from, okay, now let's give a padding of 4 for small devices. Yeah, that looks better. We need to give a gap over here from the star and others. Like if we give a gap of 4, you can see, no, I think we predefine a gap over here beforehand, so it will be effective in LGL devices. Normally the gap will be 4. If we hit the save, that's working fine. And the text you can make in center or in some way the way you want. For right now that is working. Yeah, if we come over here, wow, that's slick. Okay, if we go to little bit larger devices like that one, you can see, yeah, that's fine. So now you can go through the same pattern, you can do that one. Like if you just want me to show how you can do it, I can just go here. Remember the entire div, we'll just copy it, we will save it here, and now here is the testimonial image 1. We will give the testimonial image 2, give it a 2 image. So now see, it's working fine. Now that one, just for, I think it's very easy. We just need to change the text and title. I think we made a mistake somewhere. Okay, let's see. Let's go to testimonial part 1, 2. Okay, so what we need to do, let's go back to our testimonial 1. We will copy it, and in the testimonial 3 we will just paste it. Ta-da, is okay. So for you, I did it already. You can follow the same pattern and make that responsive as the way you want. That one you can predefine, just make it wherever you want. So now after that we have our contact me portion, and for the contract, let's go to our contact section. In our contract, I think that is also going to be follow in our pretty much same pattern. First of all, let's see, we need to make it as flex. Now the title, remember you can go over here. For initially you can give a text of 4XL and MD text of 5XL, and in every component it's gonna change, every single component. Now see, all the component text will be changed. It will be changed. See, it's changed. So it's very simple to do it. So just go through it and you can change your title in just a kind of click of a bit. So now here what we have contact left and we have contact right. So first of all, let's go to in that div here. So we will make flex call, And let's see in which part that working much fine. I think in LGL devices that will be good. So let's go to our smaller devices. In LGL it will be flex row, and now see it's coming side by side like in down per. So what we need to do, as we go to in the left, is width of 35%. We'll give width of full, and LGL devices will be 35%, and also that padding portion we will work with it. I think there is a padding of 8. It will be effective in LGL devices. For primarily it will be padding of 4. So that portion is much better. If we come over here, that the bottom portion it will be full and LGL devices other width, and also initial padding will be 4, LGL padding 8. Now see, now these two part we need to make in both side. Remember where we did that? That is the div is responsible for all of it. So first of all, we'll give a width of full, and LGL devices it will be height, and also the same way width will full, LGL with height. But now it's still not fixed, because remember we give a flex. So make it a flex call, it will work much fine, and an LGL devices it will be flex row. Now here this gapping portion you can modify the way you like, or in the entire form you can modify. See, it's giving a padding y of 5. It will effective in LGL devices. For right now it will be padding y of 2. See, it's giving a good padding. And also for the gap, LGL devices, initially the gap will be, if we give 2 is too much closer, just give a 4. Yeah, it's much better, looks slick. So instead of going in all the devices, I will just drag it here, and as you see, that is much better. Forget about it, because that will be in responsiveness it will be normal. So now it's okay. Now here is the time for our footer, and footer will be much more easy, because remember in footer also we use our grid. Now grid is a life-saving portion. If you master the grid, it's very easy to do it. I think we use the grid, right? Yeah, we use the grid. So first of all, it will be grid calls of 1. In MD devices, the grid calls of 2, and whatever the tree we give, it will be working LGL devices. If we just save it, okay, it's working. And if we go in other devices, that's working. If we overall exchange the devices, that is also working fine. So after having that, now this is the time we need to think about our navbar, because we didn't do the navbar. If we see in all devices in the top, that navbar is having issue. So let's go to our navbar, and in the navbar, that li whatever we have, or as you can say ul, first it will be hidden, and whenever it will hit the MDL devices, it will be inline flex. So let's hit, you see that is hidden. Like if we go over here, if we just make it closer, whenever it's scrolling, hidden, scrolling, hidden. Now there is a little bit a slick minor gap. We can fix that one. Like that gap, it will be LG devices, and initial gap it will be 6. So now there is a gap, but whenever we are hitting, see the smaller devices we are hitting, the gap little bit less, and now it's working. That gap you can modify 6, 8, whatever you want you can give. So after it's getting a little bit disappear, we need to make something appear, right? So what we will make appear, we will get an menu icon, okay? And of course also we're gonna take that icon from our React icons, and that menu icon will be responsible to check the procedure of everything. Now after that UL, you will give a span tag, and inside that span tag we will give our fi menu, I remember, yeah, fi menu icon. So if we hit the save, like, see, that menu icon is there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give that menu icon some bunch of class name, like in span. Now what I'm gonna do, what I did, I make it a text of Excel in MDL devices. Whenever that one is coming in flex, we are making it hidden, right? And BG black with and we give a little bit width, and inline flex we made because we want the thing should be in center. Thus we made the justify center, rounded full, text design color, and cursor pointer, and we made the BG in black. So if we save, you can see the changes. If we go our say small devices, we can see the changes. Now we need to create an on-click event, right? It's a simple on-click event. Like if we go over here, we will make show menu and set show menu. So first of all, in initial state, in UG state, first state it will be false. Okay. Now we'll just make a console.log show menu, and what we're gonna do, whenever we will click on that particular span, that show menu will be true and false. Just a normal on-click function. If we on-click, what we're gonna do, we will click a function and set show menu. It will be true and false. So it will be just like show menu. If we save here, now that complication we can see whenever we come in our developer tools, hit the console, we hit is true, false, true, false, true, false. So what we need to do, whenever that set show menu is true, we need to make something. Okay, now here I'm just gonna drag some properties under of that span. Let's jump it here. Now what I did, I think if we just I'll go one by one because it will be much more things to take in all together. So first of all, whenever the show menu will be okay, we need to make something. And as you see, we have, I believe that nav link data. Yeah, that data we use. First of all, whenever that show menu will be like show menu is true, only that particular time it will return a div. Let's get some bunch of class name for the div. Okay, what I did, that div will be 80%, height will be full entire screen, and whatever the overflow will become there, it will be in scroll, and it will be absolute. Top 0, left 0, we give a background color. We made the scroll bar like scroll bar height, and if you come over here, you see that is here. And whenever we click, it's going. Click is going and coming. But there is a scroll bar. Remember, we made a component scroll bar height. So now, what we will do, where we declare that class we will declare over here. After down of active, we will just, you can do it inside in component section or wherever you want. I think we give a scroll bar height, and that one will create an WebKit. I think WebKit, and it will be from scroll bar. Yeah, and that what it will do, it will make display none. It just combine the Tailwind CSS with other CSS portion like normal CSS, and you see it has been gone. So after having that right, now what we need to do, remember we have our, when we saw it before in our initial build, we need to create that part here. So let's go and create that part. So first of all, let's close it. We need to get another icon, which will be our close icon. Let's import it. Let's import the icon. Now here inside of that div, we will make the changes. We will create another div, and that div also we will make a flexible div. First of all, let's see what we need to have here. It's not sticking. First, let's get that icon here. Okay, so we will get the icon in the bottom. I think it will be MD close icon. I'll get it here. So first of all, that icon will be absolute, and it will be before making that icon absolute, we need to make our that portion somewhere. I think let's go back like that way. Let's see where it's appearing. So if we go here, yeah, it's in the top. So also we click an on-click event over here. Whenever we will click on that particular icon, what we will do, the same work it's doing, it will do it here. Whenever we click, it will close all the properties. So inside that div, what we had beforehand, I think we had our one image and little text. So let's go and drag those image and tag, and here we will paste it. So is it our text is working? If we go here, yeah, you can see the image and text is available here. Now this one is inside a div. So first of all, we will keep that inside one div, because that is our initial div, that is this pen tag. So what we're gonna do is close it, create another div. We will put all together inside that div, and after that div, like that is our initial div. Now after that, we need to create that full bar portion, right? Remember which one? That portion we need to create over here. So let's go and create it. What we're gonna do, we will make an same like UL, and inside that UL we will create our, I think it's navlinks data, and we will map through it. And whenever we are mapping, we'll just take an item, and inside that item we'll take an li, and inside that li, I think we will just get item.title. Now here when we come, we see nothing. I think we made some mistake over here. That is the labeling data, item title link, and it's because remember what we did, this is that curly braces will not be there. It will not return if the curly braces is there. What we need to do is to make our first bracket. So whenever we will make that bracket, only that time it will allow to return. Now see, it's returning that portion. So for that UL portion, let's grab that UL and let's give a bunch of class name. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake again. So what we do, we will make it a class of flex, and when you do the flex, is coming side by side, and it will be flex column, and the gap will be 4. And now see that hover option and other customization is not happening here. So for that portion, we will take that class name, the same class name we used beforehand, and in that li we will use that class name. And now you will see that is working perfect. Now we need to give a gap over here, and that is inside this div. Let's make it that. So make it flex call, and let's give a gap of 8. Now see, it's coming downwards, and also for padding from y-axis give 6, so it will be a little bit downwards, or I think not in y, padding 4, that's no. And let's see where is our MD close icon. is that one here, and that one. Okay, so we need to make this one as relative. No, it will not work because that is absolute div. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make that div, or actually we can make this one as relative, and that span we can keep it little upwards inside of that div. Now that is looks slick. So you close, you get it. Now here, as you see, there is a tree icon, find me in icon, and remember where we keep that one? I think we use somewhere that one. See, we use it in the contact from. So the same thing we will just copy from there. Let's go to our contact from, and that is the div. So let's take this entire div, I think till here. So you'll copy that div, and in the neighbor, after the UL, I think that's the image div, that's the UL, that's the span. So let's give it here, and of course it will freak out because it need that images, sorry, the icons. So let's go top and give the icons here. When you save, I think that will be fine. If we go, yeah, see, okay, now it's fine. And now there is one issue is here. Whenever you click, you want to go features or projects, that is not going, because remember we did something over here. We create as a link hook and we initialize that link hook here, right? So now what we're gonna do, we will create that same link hook here also, and all the parts, all the properties we will just take from here the same way. I think the link will be item.link. You can destructurize like the way we did. We took that ID, title and link, or you can just put with that item.link. So it will be both way, it will work. Okay, I just made in same way, so you can go. Now see, after having, see, projects, resume, everything happening, but this one is staying. So until we close it, we need to see that. So that things we need to stop. Now what we will do, whenever we will click on li, we will create another event, and it will be a function again, and set show menu will be false. Now if you go to projects, resume, no, it's not happening. This, I think set show menu should be false. Okay, we go project, it's not working. It's because we made a mistake somewhere. That is our on click, that is the event. Okay, just we will make one console.log. Actually we can make it or not. Console.log, done. Now let's go to our source. Oh, here is, you can see there is a warning over here because we use the child from that enabling data. We need to give a key prop, and the key prop will be item.id, I think. Whenever we refresh, you will see there will be no error at all. So now whenever we will make console.log, yeah, refreshing is taking a little bit time over here. Okay, so now if we click, see, we cannot see anything. It's because we cannot click inside of it. On click is not working. I believe it's because of that link data. So let's click an on click function on the link. Now see, that we can find, we can click over here. Now whenever we're gonna click on the link, we will now going to fire and function, and it will be set show menu, it will be false. So now if we hit here, see, now if we go to the home, it's false. So I think that's perfect, it's almost done. If we go to our, now here there is a one portion, see, whenever the with is getting, it's not closing, that will not make a problem in initial devices. You can set it with like without making that one in in a different components. You can make the same li or same ul with the width and height, like with the initial width, document width. You can do that. That part we will do it in another video. For this video, that will be fine. So whenever you're scrolling like a bit, you just close it like that. So now, as you see, that's working fine, perfect. And all the devices portion, I think that will work perfectly. Okay. So now what we need to do, remember we are uploaded it in Vercel. If we go to our Vercel dashboard, now I think that was our portfolio, and as you see, that is our initial, the published one. And if we drag it over in that, you see that is not getting over there. So what we will do, we'll close it. We need to push every single changes inside our repository. So what we're gonna do, let's see the git status, and see a lot of changes there, and we will include all the changes, and in the git comment we'll pass a message which will be responsiveness done, and git push origin master. So after doing that, what's gonna happen, we'll just see it in live. Now let's go to Vercel, and let's go to our back on the, see now YouTube, and that one is building. See, it's how fast, just we commit from there and it's taking instantly. So now it gonna create another image of our pre-built option, and it gonna update all over the properties is required. So let it create. So now before you are making anything with that, I better recommend you that you can come over here in Tailwind CSS, and you just go through each and every single components, templates. You can go every single classy things, and you can learn something better about Tailwind CSS and how it's working and how you can master with it. So build complete, populating build cache. Now let's see, I think it will finish within a second. Yeah, see, that's done. So now see, now you have your portfolio pretty much running, and it's working very much smooth. Now if you have that kind of portfolio for your work, or whenever you are going to find a job, it can create the value. Okay, so all the best to create your portfolio, and in our next video we will come up with something new. Till then, stay good, be healthy, all the best.